Seterusnya, saya menjemput penceramah menarik berkaitan subjek. Seterusnya, saya menjemput penceramah yang kedua iaitu saudari Tey Hui Yin. Cik Tey Hui Yin telah menerima pendidikan awal SJKC Kuo Kuang. Maafkan saya. Johor dari tahun 2001 hingga 2006. Kemudian beliau meneruskan pendidikan menengah dan pra-universiti di Sekolah Menengah Funyu Pulai, Johor dalam aliran Sains Tulen. Seterusnya, beliau berjaya melanjutkan pelajaran di Ijazah Sarjana Muda bertaraf kelas pertama di Universiti Perubatan Antarabangsa IMU Kuala Lumpur dalam bidang kimia farmaseutical pada tahun 2016. Selepas tamat pengajian di Menara Gading, beliau bekerja sebagai penganalisis kawalan kualiti Quality Control Analyst di sebuah syarikat pembuatan insulin Biocon Sendirian Berhad selama 2 tahun. Dengan usaha yang bersungguh-sungguh dan semangat yang tabah, beliau berjaya ditawarkan untuk melanjutkan pengajian PhD dalam bidang kimia di Universiti Teknologi Malaysia. Pada Disember 2018, sekarang beliau merupakan seorang pelajar PhD tahun ketiga dan dijangka menamatkan pengajiannya pada tahun 2022. Majlis mempersilakan.
Thank you, our MCs, for the introduction.
Dear participants, currently we are having some technical issue. So while waiting for the next speaker, students, please be reminded that you shall fill in the kehadiran Google form anda melalui pautan kat chat box. Alright, thank you.
Okay, sorry for the technical issue just now. Is everyone can see my screen now? Okay, thank you for the MCs for the introduction. Good morning, all the participants, teachers from SMK Kangkar Pulai, and our committee members, staff, and lecturers from UTM. Welcome to the seksi Taklimat Kimia Pedajuk Chemistry at Home. I'm your speaker today. I'm your speaker for the session. My name is Hui Yin, and I'm currently a PhD student from University Technology Malaysia, Faculty of Science, Department of Chemistry. As per mentioned by the MCs just now, these are my educational background and the career path throughout the years. So next is your turn. Let us have some little warm up before the talk. Tell me you are Form 4 student or Form 5 student, or you are from the STEM society. You may join this live polling session using the link above, or you can find the link in the chat box. Please key in your real name for the polling session, and you have 2 minutes to vote. Don't close the tab before my talk ends, okay? There are more questions behind. Hello, our Form 4 and Form 5 students. Okay, so now we have more Form 5 students. Is everyone can do this action? Okay, I'll proceed to the next slide. So now you can tell me what do you think about chemistry? Since most of you are Form 5 and Form 4 students, you have some background about chemistry. I believe all of you have some thoughts about chemistry. So you may type one word about calculate. What is the answer? Your teacher asks you to calculate a lot, is it? Okay, challenging matters. There's, okay, interesting, a bit confusing. Okay, difficult. Why so less the positive reaction? We need some positive. Okay, awesome, interesting, fun. All right. So, what do other people think about chemistry? People might think that chemistry is all about the flammable, toxic, or dangerous chemicals, but we are students from Form 4 and Form 5 students. We learn about the chemistry in the element in the periodic table, or we have did the experiment about the transition methods. Then we see some colorful solutions, and some other people might think that, oh, chemistry is always about those explosive punya experiment, but actually chemistry is always around us, and we can't live without any chemicals. For example, we have inside the battery, we have the lithium. Nails are ions. Inside the active ingredient of the medicine, we have paracetamol, also chemicals. Fruits and food, drinks, vegetables, we have all the vitamins, carbohydrates. Proteins are also chemical. They have chemical structure. And we use the skincare product, like inside the active ingredient got the retinol, and shampoo, conditioner, wash also built up by the chemicals. So what are the other examples of the household product contents of chemicals? You can give me like your experience beside you. What are the things that contain chemicals also? You can give me some answer from the poll session also. Face. Our face contain chemicals. Yeah, some. Because the lipid bilayer, all this. Shampoo, sanitizer, sugar, vinegar. Okay, very good. Salt, food. Other more response? You can submit as many answers as you can. Ketchup. Okay, toothpaste. Okay, you can read all the ingredient behind. These are all the chemicals. Lip balm. Okay, good. Next, have you ever tried to do experiment at home? chemistry experiment. Wah, ramainya yang yes. Okay, so we have 60% pernah buat chemistry experiment at home and 40% no. For those who answer no, maybe you must be thinking how to start an experiment at home, as we don't have these beakers lah, conical flask at home, and we don't have chemicals at home. But let me share you how to start an experiment at home. Then later you can take a video of your experiment and upload for the competition. These are the, before starting the experiment, we need to know the scientific pathway. So, as what we learned in the Form 4 first chapter, we need to make observation, membuat perhatian, mengenal pasti masalah, membuat hypothesis, identify the variables, control the variables, experiment, plan the experiment, know what are the ingredients and the apparatus we need to do, and mengumpul data, analyze and interpret the data. Finally, we need to make the conclusion and prepare the report. So this is the topic of the experiment I'm going to share with you today. The properties of ionic and covalent compound. I believe most of the students have learned about this chapter, right? Okay, let us recap a little bit. So for the sifat-sifat sebastian ion dan sebastian covalent, we need to test the electrical conductivities, the conduction electric, solubility, melting point, and boiling point. For the ionic compound can conduct electricity in the molten or aqueous solution, but not in the solid state. For the covalent compound, in all state it does not conduct electricity. And ionic compounds soluble in water and have high melting and boiling point. But covalent compound is not soluble in water and have low melting point and boiling point. So these are the materials available around us. We have salt, rempah, minyak, masak, baja, all these. But can you identify, are they ionic compounds or covalent compounds? So for example, I choose these three materials as the example for my experiment. We have salt, sugar, and tepung. Let us start the experiment. So first, you need to write down the tujuan, pernyataan masalah, bahan, and radas. So the materials we choose is sugar, salt, tepung, and air. And the apparatus we need at home, because at home we only have this simple bahan. So we can use the bekas plastic, sudu, periuk, mangkok, double gas, thermometer, battery, wire, and the light bulb. So let's go to the first properties. We need to, just now I didn't mention about the hypothesis chart. So you may type the hypothesis in the chat box for the first properties, which compound is electrical conductive and which is not. And we will start to look at the video how people doing this electrical conductivity experiment at home. So what we need to prepare is the water, salt, a battery with a wire, and a LED light bulb. I didn't see any response for the hypothesis in the chat box. So the battery we have attached to the conductive material, the C15. And later we will put this safety pin into the water to test whether the light is glowing. Okay, so because these two safety pins are conductive, so we test for the wire connection or it's okay because it's glowing. And because water conducts LED light, so the light glows a little bit, but with lesser brightness. Direct contact between two safety pins, the LED glows brightly. So now we are adding some salt or other materials. Then we see if the things is conductive, then the light bulb will glow brighter. So this is salt. Salt is ionic compound, so it glows brighter. Okay, next. I have included some other links in the presentation slide. Maybe you can refer later for the reference of your electrical conductivity experiment. So this is my results. The solid sugar is not conductive. Molten sugar means sugar put in the water, also not glowing the light bulb. The solid salt is conductive. It is not conductive, so the light bulb is not glowing. But when we put the salt into the water, it's glow. For the tepung, both solid and molten tidak bercahaya. Okay, the second properties is the solubility of the compounds, the keterlarutan sebetian. This experiment need to be done very easily. We just need a cup of water and we put our compounds inside. If the compound dissolve, means it's soluble. If the compound doesn't dissolve, means it's not soluble. And we can see precipitate inside. So for sugar is soluble. Salt is also soluble, but the flour is not soluble. Okay. Next is the property C, the sifat ketiga, the takat lebur dan takat didih sebetian. The way to determine the melting point of the compound is exactly similar to the way of melting the chocolate. If you pernah buat cake or biscuit at home, you might experience to melt chocolate or melt butter. Then what we need is the double boiler. Double boiler means we need a pot, then inside we put in water, and on top of the pot we put the mangkok. Then on the gas we put in the compound, the compound we want to taste. Then on the fire, on the gas stove. Then when the compound start melting, we measure for the temperature by using the thermometer. That's the melting point of the compound. Okay, so we need to identify what the compound are ionic or covalent. We need to do all three properties. So the discussion and conclusion: salt conducts electricity in molten state but not in solid state. Sugar and salt are both soluble in water, but molten sugar did not conduct electricity and have lower melting point. So salt is the ionic compound, sugar is the covalent compound, and flour is the covalent compound. This is my example of the experiment. Last but not least, because you have to do the experiment at home, so here is some safety precautions. Safety is very important. First, you need to get your parents' permission before conducting any experiment at home. Then choose the material that is edible, means yang boleh makan punya. So will be less toxic if you choose properly and choose the material you are familiar with. So And next, because we need to use the gas stove, so be aware of fire, be aware of electricity also, and be extra careful because safety first. Okay, that's all for my talk. Thank you.
Majlis merakamkan setinggi-tinggi penghargaan dan terima kasih atas perkongsian itu tadi.